Alrighty. So, Nicole, I know you have access to Canva, right?
I do.
Amy, do you have access to Alive's Canva?
I do not.
Okay. Well, then let me pull up Canva and I'll at least walk people through
Okay.
some of what we have in there. And I figure this will be kind of a show and tell what we've done. I'll be honest, the last year we didn't get much support from a live side of things for marketing. So hopefully that will change. When somebody's like, Caleb, where are all of our leads coming from? I was like, either the newsletter, because we do have a decent click rate there, or my personal contacts and reaching out to people through that avenue. Okay, you should see Canva. And Amy, I don't know if you want access to it. I think David's
I think we can
on.
figure that out later.
I was like, I'm guessing David's the owner, but I do not know that for fact anymore. Gretchen used to be able to grant people access. We do have a couple things thrown out on here. This is where I've been saving stuff that either I've made in Canva or resources. We do have some Service Enterprise photos. It is just a bank of pictures that we've used to supplement what Microsoft has for PowerPoint. Because since we have Canva Pro, we have rights to use these images in our materials.
Kayla, can you guide me to where you are? Because I went into Canva and I went into the service enterprise folder, but I'm not seeing the same thing you're showing.
I don't know how you get here. It's all in. Are you part of the Service Enterprise team and part of the marketing team?
It looks like only marketing team.
Okay. Um, Gretchen gave me both. So I don't know. I can see if I can move what's in the Service Enterprise team over to.
No, don't do that. I will figure that part out.
I just got a live signed up for the free thing and then it went from there. So yes, there's stuff in here that we've used, both of those accounts. Original stuff was in the Service Enterprise team, but then I found out Grace didn't have access to it. David didn't have access to it. Pretty much no one did. I think it was just Gretchen and I. So there's not much in this one. Most of it is in marketing.
Okay.
But some of like the original images that we updated when we switched over from Points of Light are in there. There are some things that Gretchen had me do to help with like the volunteer management conference and some of those things that I've created that are in here too. But again, anything that I've created should be accessible to the Alive marketing team. Because I'm one of the team members. And then I've made it so that the Canva account for Alive does have the Service Enterprise colors in addition to the traditional Alive colors. The only addition one is the orange. Oh, it looks like it I'll duplicate it again. I know sometimes people delete it because they're like, oh, orange isn't one of our colors. And I'm like, oh, thanks. So we can add another one that says Alive Service Enterprise again. Um, but I can stop sharing Canva. And if I go to share our Google Drive, we do have the branding there so that you can also grab it from there. All things we've done for marketing are in here. So service enterprise, SE marketing, and communications. Now, with the exception of information that I've wrote for the Points of Light blogs or in Points of Light blogs, and the information for the Alive newsletters are in the Alive newsletters. You're processing. I saw your face look like you're thinking, Nicole. So I'm pausing.
No, you're good. I'm following. If I get lost, I'll stop you.
Okay. There are things that have been ported over from Points of Light. So keep in mind, if it's before 2022, it's probably originally Points of Lights. We have only updated things as people have wanted them updated or as we've used them, because my thought was if Points of Light wants to take it back in 3 years, we don't want to waste a ton of time rebranding things because we won't be compensated for rebranding efforts, only for product improvement. Do you have questions about things? I can walk us through each thing, but honestly, I don't think that's huge value.
Kayla, the stuff in the infographics, like I'm looking at the infographic impact in Minnesota, is that created by just like an example of a best practice? Because that one's pretty cool.
That one is about maybe 7 years old from a research that they did. Yes,
Okay.
we have some kind of comparable to it, but that matched more alive look and feel.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, that is a sample of an old one. Ooh, if Zeta was at Twin Cities, it's almost 8 years old.
It just looks much cleaner and more concise than more visually appealing, I think, than some of the stuff I've seen. The like even Kansas Commission using. So that's also something I was wondering is this stuff that we share with the TNI partners?
Yes, so
Have we
TNI
developed
partners
anything for
have
them?
access to all of this.
Okay. Okay.
And like we've got lots of samples here from various organizations that have had them. Sometimes it's even like this one, I think it was an article from an organization. So if I've been seeing things, I've been posting them and saving them in here so that we have a copy of them in case people want to be inspired or almost replicate the same thing with one of their organizations.
So those partners have access to that marketing, just the SE marketing and communications
So
folder,
in the
or
shared drives, that's how they've got access to it. Because we don't let the TNI partners change anything on the drive. We give them view or sometimes comment access so that they have to download it and change it instead of somebody accidentally making it Kansas specific on the main drive. And I
So
know
go ahead. Sorry.
we might want to do sometime, maybe April, May-ish, another show and tell of communications and marketing materials where the partners say what they're using and share it and that kind of thing. We haven't done that for about a year now. I think it was last spring when we did that one.
So when it comes to marketing for service enterprise, how has that worked in the past? Did you just tell Gretchen this is what I need and then it went up? Did you submit a form? Did service enterprise have its own like marketing schedule? Like what did that look like from just from scratch?
So originally, when Alive was a bit more engaged with Service Enterprise, like Michelle and myself, and I'm trying to think who was even the marketing person at the time. And I think Megan Vixie was included, but we were talking like, what is it? How are we embedding Service Enterprise into our marketing strategy? Then that kind of went by the wayside. We kept up with the Service Enterprise social media post and tagging the organization that got the accreditation, the training and implementation partner that was part of it, and doing that social media post.
Okay, so when you said we, is that you? Is that you in marketing? Is that Alive? Who is we?
So Tracy should have trained you on what her process was with accreditations.
And I'm not talking about that. You said the social postings.
Yeah, so that
Who
was part of the
doing
accreditation process.
was doing the social
So I
posts.
bel I believe Tracy was submitting a marketing request form when she was approving accreditations.
Okay.
That was the last I knew of that process, but I wasn't involved in it, so I can't speak to the how the process actually went. But last I knew when we talked through it, again, trying to make things more lean instead of her messaging me and saying, hey, this is accreditation, it's done. She was directly entering into the marketing form and grabbing the information from the accreditation application. So it would have like their social media handles, all of that, and pasting it into the marketing form.
Okay, and then so Alive was doing the posting. Like you and Tracy yourselves were not doing it. It was just submitted, and then somebody on the marketing team would take that info and submit it. And so was it only just for accreditations?
Typically, this last year, that's all that was being out on social media. Um, I know we did a little bit of promotion for
Sorry.
a couple trainings here and there. Um, and like I post as Kayla Paulson on the LinkedIn, the closed LinkedIn group.
On the Alive LinkedIn group?
No, the Service Enterprise closed LinkedIn group. And you've been added to that.
Okay.
And Amy, I think you should be because you are an accredited organization. So you should have been, Kansas should have added you in, but now that I saw your face, I'm wondering if you have not been invited to it. So let me go to my Google account so that I can log into LinkedIn. But we invite all accredited organizations to join a closed LinkedIn group. We'll look and see if Amy's in here.
So they're joining it as the organization or as the leaders?
Individuals, because LinkedIn is an individual platform, not an organization platform. So,
So if somebody moves off, is or I just okay. That's where my brain was like trying to.
let's say you move to an organization that is not yet accredited. Yes, you will still be in there. I'm not scrubbing it on a regular basis. Honestly, it's not hugely active yet. We were hoping Alive would be able to reinvigorate it a little bit, but
Is
it hasn't taken off by any means.
is it under Alive Service Enterprises or what does like the favicon look like? Like I'm trying to find it. I don't and I'm trying to see even under like groups that I'm a part of, but
I'm wondering if because if I haven't came in here, maybe I haven't added you yet. Okay, invite connections.
I mean, I could be. You could have. Um, I'm just activities, education. Where's to show my groups on here? I know. Oh, let me do it on my phone because I can see it on my phone.
My network. It's under my network.
Um, Under my network,
It's
my
at the top
network.
next to home. Like it's in my search bar is where I found it.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Group.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, what is it? Is it like a live
It's,
service
so
enterprise
it
or
isn't a lives, it's Points of Lights group still, but they let us put our badge on it. So it's service enterprises, organizations accredited in strategic volunteer engagement,
okay. I don't see,
which
does it
now
say that I was invited? Because I don't see it on mine.
I'm not seeing you on the invited list. And now I need to remember how, because usually we have like a link in the congratulations messages.
Service enterprise.
So let me look and see how we help people. Invite connections. Mimi Pinger. Invite. Nicole R. Smith. Invite. And then Nicole, I can make you guys admins once you join.
Notification. Oh, wake up. Okay. Oh, maybe that's it. Yes.
I was gonna say, I would guess you'd get it in a notification and like you accept it there.
Yep. Okay. So okay, I am in now.
Yep.
And you said it's owned by Points of Light, but managed by us.
Yeah, so Allison Dorfler
Mm-hmm.
is the owner.
Okay.
And then SJ is still an owner.
And can Amy and I have admin permissions, or do we have to ask her for those permissions?
I'm looking to see if I can give you guys, because
Okay.
I think I can, but I needed you to accept before I could even
Yeah.
members. It's still not showing you guys, so maybe it's gonna take a hot minute.
Okay, so while that's like taking a second, so the understanding I have is really the only social media that has been happening is like when somebody's accredited, like congratulations, you've been accredited, but no real like acquisition of, hey, we're service enterprise, you should consider, like nothing like that. Nothing like celebrating a win or just anything like that. Okay. And then when you said when Alive was more involved towards the beginning, was there any marketing that was different back then that because you said it fell off, so what fell off?
We were doing some introductions of the training and implementation partners. We
Okay.
were promoting how people could learn about it. Um, just including it on a semi-regular basis with the other, like we're promoting academies, we're promoting this, just making it so that Service Enterprise had, I think our original conversations were 2 non-accreditation posts a month.
Okay.
So maybe one featuring a training and implementation partner or sharing a big success or just making it so that there was time and space for Service Enterprise in the normal calendar of messaging.
Okay.
And I know like Gretchen every once in a while would say, hey, marketing has a space. Do you want it? And I would say yes. And we'd come up with something
Okay.
this last year, but it was not a strategic effort.
Plan. Okay.
We do from a marketing standpoint. So, good example. Just got off the phone with Jersey on Monday. So, Jersey Cares, statewide training and implementation partner. I always offer to them as you're getting ready to do your cohort and you lock in your dates and stuff. If you're still recruiting, let us know because we have told our training and implementation partners we'll do a targeted e-blast to their geographic area to promote the opportunity. We don't do it for national because I don't want to message everybody. And I usually do it so that it says, hey, our amazing Service Enterprise training and implementation partner, who they are, is getting ready to do this. This is what Service Enterprise is, and connect with them. If you're not ready for Service Enterprise, connect with them for these other resources. So just a quick lift up of them. We had pretty good response rate in a number of them, like actual clicking engagement in the email. I think, was it North Carolina got one warm call from it, but it hasn't been a highly impactful marketing tool for them yet, but they feel like it's a value. So I figured it's maybe 10 minutes of my time. And
Okay.
most of our state commissions know the organizations in their state better than we do, but it's still worth a little push.
Okay. And is that email sent through Veeth as a broadcast email, or was that just you went through Veeth and found like pulled a report of organizations that were in that area and then just did like a general email from Service Enterprises? Like, how did that email happen?
I would do it through Veeth because then you can see the click rate and stuff. So I
Okay.
would not use one, we don't want to get flagged as spam.
Mm-hmm.
And two, you can't get any stalker data. So I would not do it as an Outlook, but I would keep it in a
Oh no, and
mail.
yeah, no, I was just asking how it was done. So that's
Yep.
cool. So if it's as a broadcast email, right?
Yeah, I think it's broadcast or there's like three different email options and I can't remember which one.
Okay, but you would put it together, or would you ask Gretchen to send, like, put everything and then ask Gretchen to send it out?
I always did it.
You did it in, okay. Okay, so then I should be able to go in here and find saved ones or old ones, sent ones.
'Cause yeah, there's maybe three we've done, not a huge amount
Oh,
because
wow.
most of our partners,
Oh,
they
wait.
secure their own cohorts.
So I see one here. It says service. I'll share my screen in just a second. It says service enterprise community of practice starts. Is that like an example of?
Nope, that's for community of practice.
Okay. So this is a marketing one, but it would say service enterprise in the title. Okay, here. Service. Here, I think this is it. And Amy, we will, because you're not in access to Veeth and all that, but we will get you here. This one, right? Service enterprise opportunity for um
Yeah, Arizona. Yep, that's a one.
I
And
wish.
I always had the training and implementation partners give me the content.
Okay.
So, they'll give you the information. I would usually send a test one to them and ask them to double check and make sure everything looked good, the links worked. But I felt like at least it's a little extra that Alive could do for them. That isn't a huge, on an ease and impact scale, it might not have huge impact, but it feels bigger
Mm-hmm.
than it may actually be.
Okay. Okay. Um, and then just for the heck of it, I think I stopped sharing, but let me share back. Just for the heck of it. Amy, so you can see the stats that Kayla was kind of talking about. So it was sent to 29, 19 people opened it, and what they clicked through on. So that's good to know.
So yeah, not, again, do I think it's going to make or break a cohort? No. And when we've talked to training and implementation partners, I would be clear on, we might be able to get you one more organization or drum up a little bit of interest, not, hey, you have nobody? Well, don't worry, we've got six. Because honestly, in some of our states, like Jersey, I think I only had three people that we could connect Michelle even with. Texas, whole nother situation. When Texas Commission signs on, we will have a good number of people to send the message out to. Um, Good strategies we did offer as soon as they're up and running. We will do a welcome email to their territory.
And that's a broadcast email as well,
Yep.
and would be
Just
there. Okay.
Yep, just kind of doing something like that. We haven't done one yet because they are our first localized one that wants to do it. So it's just kind of going to be, hey, they're a service enterprise partner. We're excited, blah, blah, blah. Here's what they're doing in your community. Connect with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So is Texas coming on, or was that just a example?
So I have been talking with Texas for a couple of years. I think we've got them to say yes to having Beth do a cohort for them. So she'll do a cohort. I think they're gonna sit and audit, for lack of a better term. And they're also gonna help fund the groups to go through it. And then that's gonna help them decide whether they want to be an actual partner or what that looks like. But we have a huge footprint of Alive members in Texas. And we're getting on a regular basis Texas organizations inquiring. So I always carbon copy Millicent at Texas so that she's aware that these keep coming in when I send them over to Beth. And then Beth and Millie are meeting today, tomorrow, yet this week. And we'll have more conversations about what does that look like. But I think we've given maybe 6 referrals to Beth in the last 9-12 months that are Texas. So I'm like, heck, if we don't really have a direct relationship with these people and they're that interested, imagine if their commission was involved.
Yeah, 1 star's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about marketing and TNI partners. We're about halfway in. Is there anything else more about marketing before we transition? Or Amy, do you have any other questions? Or Kayla, anything else on
Well,
this?
and I think the original intent was marketing to develop TNI partners, how we partner with TNI partners, and marketing overall for this cover. So not what is it to be a TNI partner, but kind of, I will tell you, I do not have access currently to the list of inquiries because it's in email. And
Wait,
I don't
what
have
inquiry?
access.
What
So
inquiry?
like potential TNI partners,
Oh, okay, okay.
because I've been saving it in email and I don't have access to cPanel. So we probably either need to re-grant me access because my password expired,
Oh,
but either you can log in and see them because all of my emails, I believe Will said, yes, they are staying in the VEITH system. They're all still there.
yeah, they're there.
So I don't have access to them at the moment.
Can you not reset your password?
I was told I expired.
What were you using?
So I wonder if I actually deleted it. Okay, Service Enterprise links, cPanel.
What is cPanel?
So inside Veeth, they have an email management system. Okay,
It's
so
the
I
VP
don't
now.
even have the link saved, Nicole.
Yeah, here, hold on. Let me
Because it was before Gretchen left, and I told Gretchen, like, no point in doing anything. Will just let me be expired.
here. Here's the link. See if you can access it. Yeah, what were you using, a Kayla email or a service? Like what email
Service
was?
Enterprise. I
Oh,
did
it was
not.
a service enterprise email. Okay.
I have tried to make it so that nothing is attached to me personally for Volunteer Live because that has been one of my pet peeves for Live since I was on the board.
Um,
That like we'd have it attached to someone, and then when they'd leave after
yeah.
2 years, everything was a hot mess. So
Yep.
that has been, I've always said, no, like it has to be a service enterprise, or let's make it so that we,
Mm-hmm.
there's not even a spot to do reset password.
Okay, hold on. Let me
Oh,
see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Because I might be able to.
so I'm guessing either you or Will are the ultimate master of the cPanel now.
Let me see. What is
But anytime I've gotten inquiry, I've put them and just saved things in the email system because sometimes we weren't wanting to put them into Veeth because the system, as you are aware, is not spectacular for like a CRM.
mm-hmm.
And we talked about, do we have a separate Excel file or not? And then the conversation was, well, if Kayla gets hit by a bus, we have access to the emails as long as we've got a standard way of storing them. So I would just keep putting them over in the TNI partner folder. And like ones that we actually had a conversation with, AARP, I would make them a standout folder. But if it was one that's like, hey, what is this? And can we get involved? If I would do a couple emails with them and nothing, I would just put them in a generic TNI partner folder so that we had record in case they came back 2 years later. You could be like, oh, here's what Kayla said, or here was what they were thinking, but yet no time or effort put into tracking something that wasn't even a warm contact.
So okay, I think okay, I'm gonna share service enterprise.
Sweet.
So we are able to access it and get in there. So um were you like were they in like a particular folder or they were just in here?
Okay, so hub support.
Okay.
generic ones that are not a hot item. So like a little bit of an inquiry, answer one or two questions back, not really a hot item. Those just went in the general hub support.
Okay.
But if you have somebody ask about something, you can control F and find it, was my theory.
Okay.
Then we have AARP because we had a conversation with them. So they've got question marks like, yes, we've had some conversations about this, but we're not moving anywhere yet.
Okay.
You've got Australia has inquiries, but we can't go
Right.
outside the United States. So Australia and Canada, as I got things, I would just drop them in there.
Okay.
But I also wanted to know, like, where are we getting them outside the United States? We've had conversations with Habitat National, Hands On Nashville,
Okay. Okay.
Idaho, the city of Johnson City, Tennessee, which my thought is if I got any traction on either one of those Nashvilles, I'd actually probably reach out to the state commission and see if the state commission would do similar to what Iowa's doing, because then we could maybe get all of them real quick.
Okay. So under hub support, th- these were all like prospective people
So
that we would want to market to?
if they have question marks, they have contacted us and we've talked. And it's maybe not like a yes, but a maybe.
Okay. Okay.
The ones that don't have question marks are our partners, our training and implementation partners.
Ah,
So those you should
okay.
all recognize.
So these, yeah, because I recognized some of them. That's why I was a little confused. So
Yep. That's
the
why it's
ones with
hub
the
support.
question marks are like perspective that we
They're-
could technically create a marketing strategy behind to woo them to.
I would say a marketing strategy is they're probably past the like initial marketing
Hmm.
strategy. For them, and you can see in some of the information as we go back and forth, Hands on Nashville is a little bit more financial. Habitat is looking to see if it's going to align with our new strategic plan. Idaho, I would say they're interested, but VGF funding and AmeriCorps funding right now is their holdup. Johnson City, Tennessee was checking to see what kind of price, what would it look like, how could it plug in with them. Kentucky's slight conversation, but I would guess it's going to be at least a year, if not more. Most of our
Okay.
state commissions are probably waiting to see how everything fleshes out with VGF funding
Yeah.
and is going to continue to be open beyond commissions
Okay.
because most of our commissions lost VGF funding when that happened. So that's a big piece on the national service side. And even beyond VGF funding, one of the strategies I've been talking with state commissions about, and ones especially that are like clients of my individual work, that we can use their AmeriCorps program to do service enterprise. So we could buy their service enterprise license with the AmeriCorps program funds, and they could have their AmeriCorps stations, sites actually go through the process because then it's better for their AmeriCorps members. So
Okay.
I think that's probably a stronger marketing strategy right now with many of our state commissions that were relying on VGF funding or need AmeriCorps funding because they don't have sufficient state funding to deliver the program.
Okay. Okay. And so that would be, so these are two potential, okay. That makes sense to potentials.
And then
So,
I think at the bottom, there's a couple that I've put like ZZZ.
mhm.
Yes. So these were ones, Amita was with Points of Light. She was a partner. Cincinnati Cares was when it was Points of Light. A number of them, as it transitioned over to Alive, said they were going to take a hard pause. So that's your first Alabama inquiry. I don't think they're going to be there anytime soon, but I still wanted to keep them in the hopper. Then your next three are old partners. Hands on Atlanta is an old partner. They had only been doing like one diagnostic and debrief every couple of years. So they said they're going to take a hard pause while they're down on staff. They might come back. Then you've got Philadelphia, which used to have the mayor's office doing it, but when that funding and election cycle went, that went to the wayside. Spark the Changes, the Colorado statewide, and as they had transition of leadership, they dropped. You may be able to get them back because they are transitioning again with leadership. So maybe put them on your radar for another 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Giving was looking at a VGF grant, and when the VGF grant didn't come through, they said, thanks for your time, but they couldn't self-fund.
Okay. Okay. Um, so back to what you just said a second ago. You said it was like developing a plan of marketing. Is that you said, I think you said to um training and implementation partners, and then you said two other things.
So you've got kind of two different things. If I was doing social media marketing, probably marketing that the marketing committee could help you with, who aren't yet experienced with Service Enterprise. That would be your general broad marketing for what is Service Enterprise, exciting both potential training implementation partners and organizations. Then you have a separate level that we wanted to do that was going to be strategic marketing for training and implementation partners.
Okay.
So that is with maybe some cities, like City of Plano, Karina, is one of my dream ones. I'm hoping Texas will jump on and that she could be a Service Enterprise epicenter of sorts. But some, you'll have some cities. Some may be regional United Ways, community foundations that are doing capacity building and training. I would be looking at organizations that do capacity building and training and that value volunteerism.
To become partners, training and implementation partners. Okay.
So those would be the two. We do have some in the VEITH database that I said I would want us to target because they already buy in as a member of Alive.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be some of where I would look at a short list that wasn't Kayla's contacts, but that's Alive's contacts.
And the benefit of that is because they're paying us a fee to give the training. So that's where us having more training and implementation partners is beneficial, correct?
So yes, you probably are thinking more financial. I'll be honest, the more training and implementation partners we have, the stronger the program is, the more we're able to engage organizations. So like I look at it from the outcome, but yes, license fees are an output, but I'll be honest, you lose money on a training and implementation partner probably the first 2 years. So yes, they'll pay a small amount for startup, but you're hand holding them. You'll be helping get them up to speed. You're going to be promoting them.
Okay.
Unless it's a large organization.
Okay.
If they just pay the sliding scale fee of $1,000 plus the 1,000 startup, you will probably lose money on them in the first year, maybe 2, because they won't also be doing diagnostics. Because the diagnostic, we make more money off diagnostics than we do on organizations that go through the full program.
Okay. Do I still need to be sharing this? the email?
If you want me to walk you through anything else on there, I can. There's
Well,
branding, marketing,
just to,
communication.
yeah, just to stay, yeah, if it's
Do you want to click on that?
staying marketing focused,
So
then yes.
if there's something about marketing and communications, that's where I've always bucketed it. And you'll see this question mark, question mark, question mark case studies. These are potential ones. So
Potential what?
organizations that are really amazing that we might want to feature, ones that a training implementation partner has said. I would say if you can get a live marketing team to come up with a case study template that we can share with the partners and have the commitment of if partners drop information in the sketch of this case study, that the marketing team will help polish it and turn it into a nice piece. I think that would be huge.
And what
We haven't
a nice
had any
piece, but like a nice piece for them to promote their,
for a live to promote.
I know, but you said turn it into if they dropped if a partner dropped all of their information into a template, Alive would turn that into a piece and then do what? Like,
So historically, Points of Light would come up with a couple case studies. We would use them as examples in the training. We would use them for promotion.
okay,
A lot of the Points of Light and national service trainings that I've done service enterprise training at, we would have some case studies or access to them digitally. It's a promotion tool.
okay,
Instead of us saying, yes, this is beneficial, you're getting, a good example. If we do the California Food Bank, in what I have been asking for is, can we do industry specific case studies? So food security or animal welfare or choose whatever subset. Animal welfare may be a good one to think about. So US Humane Society is accredited. So they're just getting through their accreditation piece. So we would feature them, huge organization. We would maybe feature Pasco, Sarah and her crew, and what they did with accreditation. And then we might feature an even smaller, like grassroots animal welfare that's not necessarily part of a city or county, but that's a individual organic one. So you quick highlight those three. So show different parts of the country, different sizes of organizations, but all in the same micro sector of the nonprofit sector. So then when somebody reaches out to me and says, hey, I'm wondering if my animal shelter would be a good fit for Service Enterprise. When you respond to them and connect them with whomever their partner is, you would also just drop that case study on there. Or the animal welfare COP would share that case study or maybe even talk through it and
okay.
invite Service Enterprise to come.
So
Because that's
yeah,
another piece we've asked for is Service Enterprise to join the communities of practice maybe once a year and us bring Service Enterprise organizations with us. So yeah, I would be there, but I would have their peers sharing, not me sharing.
okay. So you said a lot there. So first thing is basically getting those testimonials to put together to use as a promotional piece across different things. It's not necessarily for the training, not necessarily for the organization that went through or their training and implementation partners specifically, but as a general, hey, here's case studies that you can help. Alive can use it. The people who want to recruit organizations can use it. Da, 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 da. Gotcha. Now, when you said show up to the communities of practice, do you mean people visiting the different community practices that we have, or community practice leads come to the service enterprise communities of practice and we share there? So, what did you mean by that?
So what we've talked about for the last year-ish with Sarah and on her kickoff this year, we offered it again for Service Enterprise to come to all of the Alive communities of practice.
Okay.
So
And
if
when you say service enterprise, do you mean
I'll paint a picture.
you don't necessarily mean the service enterprise COP. You just mean somebody from service enterprise invites. Okay.
So if it was last year, what it could have been, again, picking on animal welfare, if Sarah's like, hey, come to the welfare one, I'd be like, great, I'll be there and I'll bring 2 organizations or 1 organization, whatever I knew I could have, because some of them I know personally now over the years. So I would message and ask them to come and talk a little bit, share about it. How does it look and feel? Does it really help the animals? Does it just help the staff? Like, what is the benefit of Service Enterprise? And let them do kind of Q&A with someone.
Okay.
So we would offer to do a quick, honestly, kind of a 5-minute pep rally of what is Service Enterprise would be my pitch, so that they get a little bit of a context of what is it, and then dive into conversation, almost panel or Q&A style, with actual volunteer engagement professionals at accredited organizations.
Okay.
Because then it's still peer
Peer to peer.
conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay, I'm just watching time, so I want to be mindful of everybody's time. We have about 7 minutes left. Is there anything else marketing wise that you did, branding, that you wish you could have done? Like,
For
um, it-
2025, like, I was hoping David would be here and we'd talk a little calendar wise, because we've put together a couple calendars, which I think are out on the Google Drive over time.
okay,
Um,
when you say
and they
we
might
put,
actually be in the Alive shared drives, because I think marketing took the lead with it, not me.
okay, so when you said we created calendars, you and David did?
So prior to David, we've worked with Grace. We've been allocated a point person a couple
Okay,
times over, but
okay.
usually they drop off the committee
So where should
before
I
they really
go?
get up and running.
Where should I go? A live shared documents.
Um, I would look for marketing calendar and see if they've got any service enterprise stuff on it, because we've talked a couple times about various things.
Do you mean like for this upcoming year, you mean? Or you just
No,
mean general in the
past
past?
years.
Okay, okay.
But if David was like, hey, what do I need to be aware of for 2025?
Yeah.
My suggestion is national service training. We're doing a service enterprise session there.
Okay, at the conference.
So we should talk about how service enterprise is great for AmeriCorps, like leading up to that,
Hmm.
and celebrating and recognizing that I'm presenting at it. And I think you're coming too.
Yeah, that's the one in April, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We have
Um,
not heard for sure on Points of Light,
okay.
but one of my friends said they will see me at Points of Light with a big smiley face. So I don't know if
Committee.
my personal submissions are accepted or if Alive submissions are accepted. But we should hear soon. Again, if we're going to be at
Yeah,
Points of
usually
Light,
by the end of January, they let people know.
if we're going to be at Points of Light, we want to promote it. We want people to come see us there. I will tell you, the session I did last year has gotten us a ton of traction. So, and we've even had commissions have me deliver that same training in their state virtually.
What
And
did
then
that
Rosie
training
did
look
it
like?
in Illinois for the in-person state commission.
What did that training look like?
It's on the Google Drive, but it's one, I actually did the same kind of one for Volunteer Match and for CCVA, but it's introducing them to the characteristics and having them do almost a gut Facebook Cosmo style quiz that's just their self-reflection.
That makes
Because
sense.
my thought is, anytime we do a training at conference, one of my biggest pet peeves is when it's a sales pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a commitment of if my face is in the front of the room, it will not be a sales pitch. It will be tangible, practical things that you can walk away with that make you want to have a sales conversation later.
Is this it?
So those
So,
conferences, I would say, are on the radar. There's a couple other conferences that they've asked if we might be willing to do.
Oh,
And they're looking to see what their themes are. And I said Alive would likely be willing to present at those or have our closest training and implementation partner, but it would need to be funded.
oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, I'll get that. Mhm. Sounds good. Sorry.
I would say another marketing piece to look at with programs and marketing is when would it be good to do another academy of some sort? So
Live Academy.
yeah, so last year in lieu of an Alive Academy, I did a training for CCVA and I did a training for Volunteer Match because there was not room in the Alive calendar. So I wanted Service Enterprise talked about, so I went outside and did it. But I do think in
And
order for Alive to market Service Enterprise, y'all have to be offering opportunities for people to find out about it.
right, and that's to get people to sign up to go through the accreditation, right? Like awareness.
I would say it's more giving them some exposure to what Service Enterprise is and get them started on their journey. Like inspiration and ba initial baby steps is what that training should be. That it's actually got grit because I don't want it. The first Alive Academy we did that's on our website is an infomercial one.
Right.
I was not a fan of it, but I said yes, because that's what people wanted. So I said I would do that. But I will tell you when we do trainings that actually like get a little grit and people think through and do something similar to what they're going to do in Service Enterprise, we get a much different level of engagement
Mhm.
and after action.
And have you done one like that for a live before?
So not in Alive as an Alive Academy.
Okay.
As Alive's National Service Enterprise Administrator, yes. So we've done a couple different state commissions. We've done ones for different AmeriCorps.
And all of those presentations are on the share drive somewhere?
The standard version is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think I've saved templates of every single variation.
Yeah,
Um,
but just the basic. Okay. Well,
but
we are
yeah, the
right
basic
at,
one is out there. It doesn't have much of a script in them because honestly, I'm
Mhm.
not a big, like,
Yeah, neither am I.
well, and it takes 4 times as long to write a script than to just be like, okay, yep, that's what I'm doing here, that's what I'm doing there. So there are pieces where I put bullet points or like any that we use for national trainings, we've already committed that the training implementation partners get access to them.
Okay.
So like once I do it at Points of Light or national service training,
Then,
then it's open access to them.
okay.
So those I put a little bit of meat into them so that they have a good idea of what to say.
Okay. Well, we'll go through it. We'll find it together, but we're at time, so I just want to respect that. Kayla, thank you very, very much. David, we're going to share this with David because he asked for it to be recorded, so he'll be able to go back and look, and that will help give us what we needed to align it with everything that Alive Marketing is doing. So this has been very, very helpful. Amy, do you have any other questions before we finish?
No, just to confirm those things that you said we've done in the past, we haven't documented those sort of in any way that we could take, like, this is what it looked like when it was working well versus it's just more sort of anecdotal. Is that right? So I'm
Which
understanding.
things that we've done in the past, like the
Like when you
training
said
sessions and stuff,
no, we
or
used to do like
Like flyers
two
and stuff?
times a month to
Oh,
do social posts, and was any of
so
that kind of stuff?
most of the used to be done stuff was points of light days, not alive days.
okay.
Okay.
So there's been what I've suggested, but not what Alive's.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Thank
Nicole, I know
you.
we talked about, and I think it's in an email with David, about having a liaison for Service Enterprise that actually knows Service Enterprise on the marketing team. I think that could be a game changer, especially with your current learning curve,
Mhm.
for them to be able to help bridge some of that gap and make some connections that you and David might not think of yet.
Yeah. And
Um,
that's where, yes.
I also think, and one of the pieces that we've talked about for the advisory council is having one or two of them, if Alive says yes, they're going to do marketing to help support that effort. But until we got a yes from Alive, we didn't want to ask the advisory council to come up with stuff or do anything that wasn't going to get used.
No, that makes sense.
So
Um,
that is a piece that if we get yes from David and commitment and we think it's going to stick, I would suggest getting some advisory council people attached and
okay.
on an
I'm
ad hoc
sorry.
as needed.
I hate to cut y'all off, but I'm already late for another meeting.
Okay.
But yes to what you're saying, and that's yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye.